Welcome to our exploration of the intersection of climate change and social justice, a topic that's as pressing as it is complex. Climate change, a global phenomenon characterized by long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns, doesn't impact everyone equally. On the other end of the spectrum, we have social justice, a concept that advocates for fairness and equality among all groups in society. The intersection of these two comes into play when we observe how climate change disproportionately affects vulnerable communities, making social justice a crucial factor in the climate conversation. Now, let's delve deeper into how climate change and social justice are intertwined. Scene script: climate change affects everyone, but not in the same way. Vulnerable communities such as low-income neighborhoods, indigenous populations, and marginalized groups are disproportionately affected. They face the brunt of climate change's destructive power. Pollution is more concentrated in their environments, posing severe health risks and reducing the quality of life. Extreme weather events, another byproduct of climate change, wreak havoc in these communities. They bear the brunt of floods, droughts, and heat waves, with limited resources to rebuild and recover. Their access to necessary resources and infrastructure is often limited, making their survival a constant struggle. This increased vulnerability leads to health disparities. The air they breathe is polluted, the water they drink is often contaminated, and the food they eat is at risk due to disrupted agricultural systems. This is their reality, a reality shaped by the disproportionate effects of climate change. Yet, what we must recognize is that climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a social justice issue. It's about the unequal distribution of environmental burdens and benefits. Thus, climate change is not just an environmental issue, but a social justice issue as well. A just transition to sustainable systems is not an option, but a necessity. Our world is changing, and the effects of climate change are becoming increasingly evident. But these effects are not felt equally. Vulnerable communities, including low-income neighborhoods, indigenous populations, and marginalized groups, are disproportionately affected. They face higher exposure to pollution, extreme weather events, and limited access to resources and infrastructure. This leads to increased vulnerability and health disparities. A just transition to sustainable systems must be a priority. We need to ensure that the needs of affected workers and communities are not sidelined in the rush to go green. This means creating green jobs, ensuring fair and favorable conditions for workers, and investing in communities that are most impacted by the transition. Community engagement and education are crucial in developing effective climate policies. We need to listen to those who are most affected by climate change and work with them to create solutions that are equitable, effective, and sustainable. Environmental justice is about more than just reducing emissions. It's about addressing the unequal distribution of environmental burdens and benefits. It's about ensuring that everyone, regardless of their income, race, or location, has access to a clean and healthy environment. In a world affected by climate change, justice and sustainability should go hand in hand. As we move towards a more sustainable future, we must ensure that this future is just, equitable, and inclusive. We must remember that our actions today will shape the world of tomorrow, and we must act now, for the sake of our planet and for the sake of future generations. In a world affected by climate change, justice and sustainability should go hand in hand. Addressing climate change requires not just local, but global action. The impacts of climate change do not recognize borders, and neither should our solutions. Our world's most vulnerable communities, those in developing countries and individuals displaced by climate events, bear the brunt of environmental changes. This is a global issue, demanding a global response. We need to rally together for the sake of our shared home and our shared future. We must extend our support to those who are most at risk. By providing resources, knowledge, and infrastructure, we can help these communities adapt and become more resilient. But it's not just about survival, it's about justice. It's about ensuring that the benefits and burdens of our environmental actions are shared equitably. This is where the principles of environmental justice come into play. It's not enough to simply fight climate change. We must also ensure that our fight does not leave anyone behind. So let's stand up and take action. Let's extend our hands across borders and oceans. Let's address the disproportionate impacts of climate change and advocate for solutions that are just, equitable, and sustainable. Together, we can bridge the gap for vulnerable communities and work towards a more sustainable and equitable future. In conclusion, the fight against climate change is also a fight for social justice. We've delved into the disproportionate effects of climate change on vulnerable communities and the need for a just transition to sustainable systems. We've also underscored the importance of global cooperation and support for these marginalized groups. Our quest to combat climate change should also address the unequal distribution of environmental burdens and benefits. By acknowledging this intersection, we can work towards solutions that address both climate change and social injustices, creating a more equitable and sustainable world for all.